Oh yeah, and it takes precedent over me going live. It actually takes me out of the screen for live.
All right. Well, we are recording.
Yeah.
So looks like we have Jennifer from Canada joining us. Welcome. We're just getting ready to go live. So if you watch the replay, that's why we're kind of stalling but it's all good. All good.
Hey,
Well, we
Jennifer.
are recording, but we aren't quite live. Okay,
We are
got
live.
it. Now we are. All right. Hello, 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 Intuition of the Soul Tribe. We are so excited tonight to talk to Carrie Farmer. She's got some great stuff to tell us. She's very knowledgeable, and I think there's things that you're going to learn tonight that's going to be really cool. So welcome, Carrie.
Thank you. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
Really happy to be here and honored.
We are so happy that you agreed to come. You've got those soul insights, with this Lionsgate coming up. There's a definite higher energy. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi there. Okay.
There's a higher energy that is out there, and we can feel it. Somebody described it last night as we're climbing a ladder, but the rungs are disappearing behind us. We're in the doorway and the door is closing behind us. This is not I'm going to go back. And that's a little bit different than I think it's been. So we invite anybody who's watching, come on, jump on with us. The link's in, and we're going to ask if you're on, if you would mute, because, so that the computer doesn't get confused. So. Yeah. And we want to say welcome, Carrie Farmer from Carrie Farmer Connections, and so excited.
Yeah. And I think you're right, Kitty. I think that people are talking about the energy. They're kind of feeling like there's just some big things coming and where they're going, and kind of like that ladder, like climbing up and then having it disappear. And what's great is Carrie likes to get deep. If you will. So this is a good time for her to come on, because she's going to be able to give you some of those ideas and ways to kind of go a little bit deeper. And I feel like people right now are kind of needing that with this energy coming in kind of stuff. So can we put Carrie on so when she talks, or we'll put it on speaker view?
Sure.
There we go. So then when Carrie talks, we'll have her on there. But so Carrie, why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I through my journey as a soul, I started out without any real spiritual knowledge, training as a child, really, that I kind of went with what they were teaching in schools, which was, it probably really isn't a God. Creation probably is just a theory and a myth. And so the whole spiritual side was a bit of a mystery to me. Then I met this man, and now my husband, and he was all about spirituality. He's going, there has got to be something more than just eating, sleeping, surviving. And through following him through some of his work and journey, I was like, oh, well, maybe there is such things as a spiritual life. And so through that, we just kind of grew, and I watched him, because he has kind of a lot of those psychic things that some of you all have, where he can do marvelous things, call in miracles, or just things worked out for him. And I always felt so battered and, just lost a lot. And one thing that finally culminated for me was just this cry of, can you just show me a map? Something that I can figure this life out and be able to figure out if I'm on track or not. And that's when this little board concept was born for me. it was just a way for me as a more grounded personality. I'm a Taurus, so for me it's systems and just what can I trust? I mean, because I need to touch it and I need to know it more.
And you need a plan. I know, I'm a Taurus. I get you exactly what you're
Gotcha.
saying.
All right, well, good. So anyway, I was like, just show me where I'm at on this life, because I felt like there was no owner's manual really, and there was no direction for how I could figure it out. So I ended up with just playing with putting my life out on the table, and this little gem was born out of all the various ideas that I've been taught. And so as I've been working with it, it's been marvelous for me to be able to actually have a tool. I call it kind of a life hack or a soul hack, a psychic hack. So I can actually let myself be guided on the board. And it gives me core values in 4 major aspects of the physical life: your body, your emotional, your relationships, and your material stuff, all the resources that are at hand for you to create a life with and from. And just so you know, the heart in the middle just helps me to remember that everything needs to be geared towards unconditional love. So what this thing does is it keeps everything above board in a positive way, so that I can be real with my life. Something's really painful, something's really confusing me, and yet I know from the way I play with this piece of paper, slice of life type of a concept, that everything really culminates to unconditional love. So it helps me to get my mind to go, okay, I can see what's going on right now, but I want unconditional love to be the answer that ultimately, gives me the perspective on everything. So it helps me to pull up and more objectively with my life, and to bring in more of that intuitive, encouraging voice that's within me. And so when I use it for I do it in many, many ways, but like, for instance, cards. I know you do cards so much as well, both of you, but for me, it really turned on my understanding and the powerful insights for card reading for me. And so that's a little bit about me. And I've created an online course that goes with this and so forth. So, I'm just really all about encouraging those who just feel like they don't know where they're at. And they need to just take a good overview look and see how much more they have that's positive in their lives than maybe the few things that maybe are challenging them. And yet, isn't it the opposite? We tend to think of all the things that are challenging us as being the big things, and it's harder to see all the great things that we have actually in our existence, that we have actually manifested for ourselves, but we discard it because that's just every day and that's nothing. But it is really something, and it gives you that power back to go, oh, I am a manifester and I do have all these things. So
yeah, I love that. I love that, to take the focus back on the things, the positive, especially when things can get really overwhelming. So can you share with us, what are a few things on the quadrants? I know you gave us the overall things, but or maybe even give us kind of an example of how you use it.
sure.
I mean, like, how do you actually use it?
Okay. Absolutely. Well, because it looks kind of to me like a board game, I'll use dice and I'll use stones or rings or just about any kind of marker thing that helps me to put myself on the board. And In the body arena, I will have aspects like your overall health, your mind-body connection, your sense of ease, respect, and so forth. So there's 36 core values in each quadrant. In the emotional realm, we might be talking about your happiness, miracle awareness, things like your allowing and your sense of joy. And then in the relationships area, we might be talking about things like loyalty and respect, nostalgia for the past and memories, nurturing yourself as your own relationship. Many times we forget that. Faith and spirituality would be in like another core value. How do you feel about that connection? What is your relationship with that? Those deeper questions that you get to answer for yourself and go, well, how do I really feel about this? And what more do I want? What beliefs have I been going by, but maybe I should put it out on the table and let's deal with this. So it's like you get your higher self guide in there, and it's like a conversation that you get to really go into very much a more of a personal focus point, because you can throw cards. At least I have found that I can throw cards, and for me, who wasn't feeling like I could trust my own intuition, I had the feeling that I didn't still know how to really interpret those cards, or I would tend to put myself into that negative viewpoint of what the cards might mean. What turned it on for me was to see that if I was having an issue in my life, I would roll the dice and be directed to a core value in a certain realm. And then the cards made sense, and they come through with such a gentleness of making sure that I know that there's purpose in this, that there's growth coming from this, that there's a way out, or just ride the storm, because it will actually build inner strength for you. So it really ties in with just about any system that you want to work with. You want to work with astrology cards, numerology, tarot, oracle. I use it with Lenormand cards, just mindfulness decks. I'll flip through books. They're just quotes of good ideas or thoughts. I even created my own just like little bag of little thoughts in case people didn't have a card deck on them. And you can grab bag, just pull out something, and it will give you a thought and an activity to do that will, just bring you back into this centeredness of realizing that you're on a soul journey. This isn't about beating you up. This is about building you up.
Yeah.
So it's really more all about how do you actually start to see this and feel like you're the director in your life, where there's actually a strategy you can play with this as you do a life inventory with it, and you can go ahead and judge yourself through it based on a 5-point system that I have developed. And it really helps you to just go, oh, so really, I only have like 3 or 4, I'm going to say, biggest issues, and 3 of them are tied to this one thing. If I can do this one thing and focus there, it will unsnarl the rest of the others, because they're all connected. So it really helps you to see the connections in your life. Where's my health connected to my relationship to whatever, and how are my emotions playing into that? How are they affecting my body? How are they affecting my relationships, my finances, or my ability to do more with my life and to really power through and get so it helps you with the setting intentions, where you can go, okay, here we are. I can see what is. And so let's set some intentions to go in the direction that is going to be more beneficial.
Yeah.
So this is really a big tool for you that allow more than the cars goes, that whole idea of being in depth. What are the 4 quadrants again? Because I'm going to ask you to use it so that we can like see how it plays out together. And
You bet,
and all
you
that
bet.
stuff.
Yes, it's your body, your emotions, your relationships, and your material stuff, just the material stuff, like the house and the career and the hobbies and the associations that you belong to, those types of things that will support your needs in this world.
Okay. And so then you ask a question. Is that how you start? Or I mean, I know
Yes.
you use it different ways, so maybe you could talk about some of the different ways, and then we could do some examples.
Sure. I'm gonna go
By
ahead
the way, what,
and
just on a little side, what made you decide to do kind of a game board? What sent you down that road versus, I got into crystals or music bowls? I mean, all of us here on this page have found different tools. What had you developing this?
I think because of at the time that I was developing this, I was dealing with trying to start a business and finding that I was more the biggest hindrance in myself. I was the barrier to my own success. So the games people play is kind of what's been in the back of my mind. All the games that different people are playing to do their lives by. Some are playing business games, some are playing in emotional manipulations, some are playing in relationships and finding the right spouse, or wanting to play with the ideas of what are friends and what are good times with other people, and other people are dealing in their health issues. And the game idea just helped me to lift myself up out of this thinking that it's all so serious, because I had so much judgy, this is such a serious thing and I have to do everything right. Where if I could just, in fact, today, I'm not even going to roll dice. I've got this little rubber thing that it's from a ear set.
Mhm.
I'm just going to throw that on the board.
Oh, you mean
and
those
just-
things I keep losing that are supposed
Yes,
to? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I just lost it. Well, maybe I'm not going to use that one.
Well, I mean, what's really cool is you can, and being it that it's in a game format, it's something that you play with other people besides just going in yourself, right?
Yes.
Is that possible?
So
Yeah.
yes. In fact, one of the games I had envisioned was, say 4 of us were playing around a table, and maybe we use playing cards or a deck of oracle cards, and we just, like you would regular card games, and then we would give each other readings based on the cards that we had and what we rolled for that person, or that person would roll a dice, and then you would give them a reading as partners and across. And what I found interesting about this idea was that there was many times it's hard for us to receive good, loving, caring, encouraging messages for ourselves. So you would have to accept a good, caring, loving message from someone else, and you would give them in return a good, loving, caring message. So you might Kitty might own the emotional realm, and Amy might have relationships, and I might have the physical health one, and one of our other guests might take the material stuff realm, and they would be the masters of that little universe. And then they would pull the right card or sense into it, or just even, I have a roll sheet that I haven't really published yet, but this roll sheet where they could look at your roll sheet and look at your pluses and minuses, and then find a way to really encourage you based on the aspect that comes up for you. So it's a way to let spirit in and play with it, because you get guided on the board, and it's uncanny how it works. And it's just like how we pull cards and we go, we can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
And that's what this does. It just further facilitates. Some people might look at this as, kind of an altar, or, crystal grids. You could do crystal grid stuff with this. So you could just let it guide you with your alignment to peace, love, and harmony. And how did this come into the now moment? Oh no, that's this is flow in to the now moment. So what was the past? Why did it come into being? And what is the potential outcome that it could create for you or the world as a gift? So you could look at your inflow and outflow as you transform whatever is in the moment with unconditional love. So this shows me how the 800-pound gorilla in the room, the undercurrent energy is, why is this pushing up into me and making this a heart of the matter kind of a question? And then what do I actually know? What's conscious? This is unconscious, conscious, and it all comes together. It's just interesting to play with it in that regard. It takes your life and makes it feel more like a game. Like, okay, so now I get to switch this around and turn this into a positive. It's just an experience. It's not going to be anything more than just on the eternal. Let's put it this way. We have our ego games going on, right? People competing, people trying to make, things happen in their lives that their egos don't really understand what they're doing. Then you've got this soul game, which is the eternal, the overview of far more is going on than you might actually realize. And all that support you have, all of that, everything that everything that you have created, you've studied. It's an open resource board too, because it doesn't matter if you come from a religious background or you come from a scientific background or anything. It just helps you to see a pathway through.
Yeah, I could see it being a great conversation starter with like a partner or something. Just bringing up some of those things and being able to have, some in-depth talk about things that are going on in your relationships and stuff like that. So I think there's so many applications that, you've touched on a few, but as you talk, my mind churns and I'm like, oh, you could use it with this. Oh, you could do it for that. So,
we have a lot of life coaches on here. And if you have somebody who's maybe, for me, it's the person that's kind of recalcitrant and they don't know what they want to do or really what's bothering them. What a great, or for a group like even Intuition of the Soul, what a great way to start like a conscious conversation. What comes up and if we can follow different leads. I think it's I love the idea that the joy of the game, helps you look at basically lighten up, so.
That's exactly.
Don't take life so seriously.
Well, it can keep you so stuck in your pain and grief and suffering. And all of the work that we're all doing is to get ourselves out of that, to move beyond all that. And that's been the beauty of this. I really, like I've said before, I first thought, okay, you and me, God, let's deal, because I'm not happy and I need to know why. I have done this and I've done that and I've done what all, I've ticked off all the best things, the top 10s, the daily 3s, the whatevers. And I still feel powerless and unhappy and unworthy. There's just no self-confidence. There's so many things that we come into this life as souls, and we have, I don't know, we must have purposely forgotten them so that we could actually rediscover unconditional love again. If you swim only in unconditional love, and that's all you really know, wouldn't it be kind of interesting to know more about that? What is it? And you find that out by duality and going, well, now I know what it isn't. And what a thrill to find it again. Yay.
Well, now before I'd love to have you, demonstrate it, do some or reading for someone or something like that. But now this board is available. You sell these, they can get them off your website, or I mean, we can put that in there, but I just wanted, the people that might be watching that are thinking, oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, you can go to carriefarmerconnections.com and learn more about it. At this point in time, I have it as an online course. And the reason being, because it is so multifaceted, it is an infinity generator. I mean, however you approach this with the honoring of the sacred, the divine guidance, you invite your guides to come in, just like as any altar would be. It's just this space that you have put out here on the planet Earth and said, all right, this is ours, you and me. This is what we will do. And I will be quiet and I will listen and I will tell you everything. And I need some answers. I would like some encouragement. Hey, I don't even know what to talk about today. I mean, life's pretty good. What can we talk about? And you can just allow it to help be the engine of greater relationship. To me, it's what we're all about. It's all about relationship to weather. That's on here. What? Weather? What's my relationship to traffic? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. But yes, and Kitty, the relationship to the stars and the zodiacs and all of that. There's the universal, and then there's the internal relationship we have within ourselves. So as above is below, inward and outward, it all ties together.
I love that example of traffic, because one of the things I have learned to do, because I was somewhat a road rage girl, is to learn to say, bless them, change me. Bless them, change me. But part of it was, it just came into my being. I find this very exciting because, I know I live on that kind of external, but there are a lot of people that don't, and they need something to start them off and to trust. Okay, I trust. This is what you've thrown. This is what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. It's great for journaling, because we all know how powerful journaling can be, but you sit there looking at this page going, what am I even going to talk about? Well, you just go ahead and throw some dice or toss a bead or whatever and just say, okay, wherever it lands, that's what I'm going to talk about today. And I'll pull a card, or I'll, flip through and get a verse, or I'll grab something, all those wonderful little bits of quotes that I kept that I never even know what to do with, like old calendars that have these great messages, but you don't want to throw it away necessarily. What could you do with that? Throw them in a bag, pull them out, say, okay, we're going to talk today. I just pulled this. Let me just see where we go with that. So we're going to go up into relationships, and let's, we're going to take a look at now presence. And it says here, the stone that I like to associate to this is aquamarine. And the idea of is look around. So take a moment to see if how you think or feel is actually present in your current environment. Be open to reevaluate what is true. This is something I just did for myself, and they're coming out like, I mean, I'm just amazed at how they come out. So I just put them into these little things. I could make them, I've got a thing of like you do with cards, and they're just the slips, and I can feel how to pull, which one zings me. But I think the pulling from a hat or a bag is a lot more fun.
So this is on, so people understand, this is on a grid. And so you find a way, whatever you're going to do to count across, and then you're using something else to help you clarify and organize it.
Yes. So let's go ahead. I forgot to bring my dice over, which isn't a problem because I'll just use my pendulum. So who would like a reading?
Anybody on can volunteer for a
Yeah,
reading?
anybody want one?
Sue would like, okay. I'll give,
Sue?
all right. So,
I'm going to go back to gallery view. So
okay.
here we go.
Maybe 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're gonna go. Okay, do we do row 1, 2,
She's
3,
working on a grid. That's the cool part.
5? We're gonna do 5. We're gonna do 1. Okay, pets and animals. Let's take a look at pets and animals for you. Oh, let's see. Let me just see.
I don't have any pets
You
anymore.
don't have any pets.
No.
I don't think that's a problem.
Okay.
Just
I had
think
lots
about
of-
what you feel about your relationship with pets and animals.
Okay.
Well, do you have
Why
animal
would-
guides?
Huh?
Huh?
Do you have animal guides? It's pets and animals. It's not necessarily just a pet, right? Right, Carrie?
Right. Yeah. It could be nature animals, pets and animals. It could be whatever comes up for you.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I'm going to use notes from the universe on love and connection. Do something new and different. It says, ever notice how it's easier to fall in love and to be fallen in love with when you're busy? Thank goodness I'm you, the universe. So how could that speak to you from the idea of pets and animals? And I'm thinking pets are so often unconditionally loving, especially dogs, but but nature. Do you feel that connection, that relationship? Is there something new you could do in your life that would really benefit your feeling of connectedness, relationship with life on a soul level? Is a thought.
Okay.
Right. Jennifer, I think she wanted one, right? All right.
Sue, did you see Jennifer's comment? Your crow.
Yeah, my crow. My
I saw
raven.
that too.
My beautiful
So,
raven.
Carrie, she did a panel for us, and she had a crow that gave us all kinds
A
of wisdom.
raven. Yeah.
I'm
Raven.
sorry, a raven.
Raven.
A raven that gave us all
Oh,
kinds of
I-
wisdom. So
I love those animals. That was a spirit guide for me that really came to me and started corralling me and making me sit and meditate on my daily walks down at the park. It was crazy. Really made, it was. So I have an affinity for them. I'd love to see that. So we're going to do Jennifer right now. Are you going to do body? Do we do?
now, do you ever ask people for a question? I think it's interesting because even just that little card got us talking about the panel reading, and Sue's talked about, Sue has our own Lenormand card deck. And so it does take you into other levels of conversation. Yeah.
So Jennifer, do you have a question, or do you want to keep it a secret question?
Is love a reading? Well, that's Lynn. I have to turn my chat on. Here we go.
What was this? Is love a reading?
That was Lynn. Jennifer said something transcendent happened today. So you want information about it, Jennifer? Yeah, she's nodding her head. Yeah.
All right. Well, is this where we're going with that? Okay. So I am going to the body realm, body health realm, and I'm going with intuition feeling for you. So your intuitive feeling on that is going to be really important. We're going to go to the energy oracle cards. Let's see what comes up on this. Oh. Okay, this one just flopped out. I'm not sure if this is going to be the right one for you, but it's community number 7.
Yes,
Community.
yes, it is.
Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, beautiful. 3 beautiful ladies. 7 is a heavenly, intuitive, deep researching, and I again connected to heaven, so very universal in my mind of that. See a pillar. So I'd be looking maybe at the guidebook for you as well to see what happened. But yeah, that one just jumped right out, and I was like, why don't we just go there? Why don't we just do that one?
This is fascinating, because then it can become a whole other conversation with the people that you're reading. And even if you start stretching, what could this mean? What, trusting what comes out is what you're being led to know about. Very cool.
So in this community, the card is upright, kind of talking about the connection with kindred spirits.
Okay.
So you've got an intuitive in your body health, that feeling is being asked for you to take a look at that and, kind of consider how that, so I would put that, say, at the heart of the matter. If I was going to do my own reading on this,
Right.
so then I would start to go, okay, so what is the unconscious energy? What's pushing up this into my awareness? What sixth chakra, it's Archangel Metatron.
Okay.
So that's kind of like, how underground of the volcano, there's energy pushing up to give us a little shake up in our awareness that something's going on underground, under the undercurrent energy coming. So let's go with what you are conscious of, the power you have, the presence of that is some action. Card 17, action.
Okay.
So you have that power. You know that there's, I'm thinking I'm seeing a black bird up in there, a bird of some kind up in that, but 17, 1 and 7, again, we're going with a 1, which means the egoic expression of who you are, the soul and the ego together, but it's an adventure, a new beginning. The 7 is again tied to your intuitive self, which also ties into the 7 of the community,
Right.
which 7 and 8, that gets into business numerology a little bit, the infinity, the flexibility, taking action. I'm going to say the gift that what brought this into the awareness is card number 24, adjacent possibilities. So that's what's been in the past that is driving forward this need now to have you take a look at your kindred spirits.
Okay.
Those horses are pretty spirited animals. So you could be taking a look at the power of the horses, or just that flexibility of 1 and 7, you know, that physical journey of the egoic adventures with the intuitive side of yourself, very taking the instinctive and the intuitive, which is going to give you a potential outcome of appreciation. And this is card 15. And man, I see a powerful woman there. I see a lot of power in that card.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm going to take a card for this intuitional feeling in your body. What can that be referring to? Card 13, financial constraints. So is there in this instance, you're being, it's kind of interesting. You're being shown that you may be thinking you're depleted or not as full as you need to be able to do anything, but you've got kindred spirits. You have community. You also know that you can take some action. You've had experience already with adjacent possibilities. You know the mystery and the magic and the miraculous comes together for you. You know that, right? It's your experience. It's come in. So what's really being pushing this and saying, let's get Jennifer some impetus. Let's have her take a look at some things. And that's going to be card number 40, which is 6th chakra. That's that intuitional feeling, right? In your body, with Archangel Metatron. So there's a powerful angel working very, very diligently on moving you forward in some way with the goal or the idea of, wouldn't it be cool if you have
Certainly felt an energy I didn't feel before today.
wow.
Yeah, it was something else.
Did that tie in any way for you?
All of it did in different ways, but kind of all going in the same direction.
Wow. Thank you for that feedback. Like I said, this is
You.
So Sue would like you to revisit her a little bit, I think.
love to.
Well, one thing I want to say too, though, while you're getting Sue's thing around is there's just so many different places to go with this. And what I like about sometimes is giving people food for thought. So like when you bring up Archangel Metatron, well, maybe somebody's not that familiar, but that might lead them to go looking in more to Archangel Metatron, see what he stands for. How does that relate to their life? You know, that kind of thing. And so that's what's really cool, because there's so many other applications, and you can go and dig a little deeper on your own even after you get some of those things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a very interesting tool, and everybody resonates with different tools and how they work. It's kind of fascinating. I love that.
Sorry. So Jennifer, I'm going to just give you this one idea to think about golden topaz as a gemstone for yourself. You might want to research that as well. And what I picked out for you is do a little dance. You know, do a little dance. Celebrating life in a physical way heightens your experience of feeling alive. So we started out, as you recall, going into the body with a intuitive feeling. And this is what pulled out for you is a suggestion, an activity that will help support your ability to, you know, maybe process, as Amy was talking about. You know, more inspiration will probably come for you as you remember that you're more than just a cool spiritual being. You've got a body that is a creature side of yourself that needs that same nurturing and care to be healthy and strong. And if it's speaking to you in some way or whatever, you're so welcome. So Sue, oh my goodness, that was so much in depth that you did for me. Did I get a short? You did get short sheeted. I am so sorry. Let's fix that right now. All right. Are we going to stick with the animals, or did you want a different reading, Sue?
You have
No,
a question or something?
Yeah, I'm more worried about my physical body. My friend of mine just had an abscess on her appendix. So I'm just kind of concerned about my body. I love animals. That's great, but that doesn't pertain to what I'm looking at right now.
Super.
So yeah, it's the physical being, health
Right.
and all that. Thanks, hon.
Sure. Looking at number one, looking at emotional. Okay, we're looking at column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're looking at 1. Is that what we're looking at? We're going to look at your emotional connection to unconditional love in this reading. And we use Wisdom of the Oracle deck for you. Let's see. Is that here? Happy, happy, happy came up for you as the it's card number 26. 2 is partnership, 6 is nurturing, and happy, happy. We can go more into that in a moment. That's the heart of the matter for you. So now we're going to take a look at what's unconscious, what's underneath the situation that you're dealing with physically that looks to be tied into an emotional need for that acceptance of unconditional love somehow, somewhere in your life. Knowing you're worthy of unconditional love. I have that. So let's take a look at. All right, the card number 18, serendipity, is the underlying current that is wanting to come up into the is pushing up this idea of happy, happy. Let me just show you how I kind of see it on the board. I kind of push it. So it's kind of like you've got this underground energy that is like going, get this into her awareness. So that happiness, which I'm going to say that's got to be like the joy. And then we're going to go with, what does she understand? What does she know? Where's her power? Your power resides in the building blocks of your life. A card 28. So 2 and 8 makes a 10, which is an up leveling. you know about up leveling your life. So two is again partnership with yourself or others. 8, the flexibility of bigger business, maybe bigger organizations, could be health systems that can help you, whatever. So let's take a look at what flowed in that kind of is creating this moment where you're being asked to take a look at the heart of the matter of being happy. And card number 29, which is just all about breathe. Just breathe. The power of your breath. So let's take a look at the outcome, potential outcome of where things are at right now for you. So card number 9 is Treasure Island. There is a treasure, there's an experience for you that is a treasure hunt experience that you could potentially discover. I'm going to pull a card about the emotional, unconditional love piece. What can we learn? What can she learn? Between Worlds, card number 3, Between Worlds. So out of the shadows and into the colorful life. So that would mean if you're experiencing something physical and it's expressing itself with pain and suffering, the heart of the matter for you is to look more at shifting into a happy. And the way I see that is you're between worlds somehow. So shifting that, because what's really wanting to come up is to help you look more at balancing out your feelings about serendipity, the support you actually have in the world, between worlds. The shadow and light, support of physical and spiritual. So then you have, all about your experiences with breathing, which means to me that you've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of meditation, and it all is actually just up leveling your experience because you know how much work you've done. And it's just able to push you however you needed to be pushed to see the happy so that you can get into Treasure Island, hopefully. Does that make sense?
Yeah, much more. People are always telling me I'm too happy. Is that happiness for real? Are you really like that? And I'm like, yes. For the most part.
Awesome. Good. Well then, yeah. So then
that was so much more interesting and so much, gives a lot to think about. I've got, I'm gonna take it in and meditate on that tonight. But yeah, I've done a lot of work. So over the years.
Excellent. Yeah. The first draw was just kind of one of those, let's just throw something and see what happens and just play. But to do an actual reading, I go even more into depth. I've actually played with this doing timeline readings, and to be able to say, see what my generational timeline was in the past, that fed into current day experiences that I'm dealing with, that my parents brought along, and then I recorded and took from there what I was doing, and then so it has helped me to see the what can feel like it's very scattered for your soul life timelines can actually be, once again, systematized into more of a, oh, well, look at how many of these actually have got some great positives in their timelines that have fed me, and that I actually have more power to choose the positives and move forward in those, rather than accepting that this is just my lot in life, that I can actually go forward more, and trust that what I've studied, what I care about, what I want to see is actually in motion for me. And it may be more eternal, it may be more ethereal, but it's there for me. I swim in this
Mhm.
energy.
And the thing that you won't know, and most people don't, is there's like a double meaning. Serendipity has some very special memories and meanings for me, and the Treasure Island is, and I mean, it's just those.
Two worlds.
Yeah,
Yes, and two worlds, yeah.
two worlds. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
and,
think
you know,
those were great. I think those were great readings for Sue and for Jennifer both.
indeed. Thank you very
mean,
much.
Yeah, you don't, I mean, we talked to maybe know, from doing other readings and stuff like that, but you not knowing them as well. I think she did a fabulous job.
Really? Wow. Well, that's good to hear, because it's like, it's got to be spirit, because it's not me. There are times when I'll come to the board, I'll be so frustrated about something, and I'll say, okay, so where are we going with this? And I think I know what it is. I think it's a physical problem or an emotional problem, but no, we're going into something else. And it's like, really? And then we deal with the cards, and it's uncanny how it helps you to just get, with either the imagery, the numbers, the guidebooks, just your own memories, the way you connect with the story, because it helps you to tell the
Yeah.
story of
Yeah.
what's actually going on, and it gives you more of a flow to be able to say, you know what, even though I'm in a tight place right now, there's always shifting. And if I don't like, so let's say you didn't like the idea of a treasure island, can't imagine it, but let's say it wasn't something you wanted, then you're like going, okay, then I'm going to change something. So then it's just like all card readings, you've always got the free will to make adjustments. But many times that harmony card is so fascinating, because it's usually something you're going, oh yeah, I kind of do need to balance that, or that's good to know that what's really happening in my life is really on purpose, that I need to shift and bring myself into a greater centered balance on this.
Mhm.
And then it will shift the rest of the board. So your alignment, your flow, and then let's get specific about what you need. Let me pull one of these.
Okay.
This one's grabbing on. I don't have no idea. Let's see. Emerald is the gemstone, and retreat. So find a way to get away and shake off the day-to-day grind. Everybody needs to take time to relax and allow themselves to turn up the volume on their inner compassion and wisdom.
Cool.
So.
Nice. Yeah. And when I get to Treasure Island, I'll invite you to come over.
Yeah. Thank you.
Amy knows,
Okay.
Amy has an idea where Treasure Island is. for me.
I absolutely do. So Sue, I know. So when she was saying some things, I'm like, oh my gosh, Sue.
Well, and she's been talking about travel anyway, retreat, and the green heart space of Emerald.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I
I
love,
love it.
emeralds. Yeah, I've got
Yes.
somewhere I have a big 102 carat emerald.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Oh, well, you
That's
better
cool.
find it.
I would
It's up in the
suggest,
bedroom somewhere.
yeah,
Thank you so much,
little,
Carrie. Thank
you
you,
are
Carrie.
so
That's
welcome.
that was so much better. That made so much more sense and way cool. Now, can we get this grid? Can we find it somewhere?
It's actually I have it as part of the online course. So I'm not selling it separately just because most people don't know what to do with this thing.
And batteries are not included.
Batteries are not included. You're going to have to print it out, download and print it out. But,
Okay.
you know, it's really awesome. I've looked at trying to do the sell it as like posters and different things. But
Have it made into a silk scarf.
that'd be pretty. That'd be pretty.
Or
Well, anyway, my daughter was supposed to help me with that, and then she moved to China, so I haven't been able to get her.
Oh, you can get
Well,
a lot of
it
stuff
would
made in
take quite
China.
a lot of guidebook there. Your little, you know how all Oracle cards and everything comes with those little, you'd have one about that thick just to give all the different applications and stuff. It would be kind of hard to put it in there. And at some point you might be able to work that out, but we'll definitely make sure that we put your information on how to
All right.
reach Carrie if you're interested in her course and her
Yeah,
website.
and remember,
So-
if you want to publish that book, let me know.
you just took the words right out of my mouth. That's Sue.
Oh.
Yeah, she did a program for us, and you can go back and look at it where she does publishing. So she actually, you know, you guys can hook up. And
That'd
that's
be wonderful.
that's
I
what,
wanted to.
well, good, because that's what she does. She's a publisher. So
Serendipity.
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 Serendipity, definitely. Yes.
That'll be our sign off. Serendipity.
Oh, I love whatever.
I do have a free offer out there too right now on happiness and balance in your life. It's a free quiz. It's a lot of fun. So it will help to lead you into a little bit more of, you know, maybe what's kind of out of balance in your life that's holding you back from being able to get forward in, you know, pushing forward. And so it's a great little fun quiz that you could actually use. And then I offer, if you scroll all the way down after the results show up, there's an opportunity to apply for a free 30-minute session with me. And then, you know, from then on, we can do more where I would actually, you know, go more into depth with you if you wanted to do more work with your life and the board and so forth.
And how do they, is that on your website? If they go to your website, the free offer?
I'm gonna have you just type in theholdback.com.
Okay.
So I'll type that in here real quick.
Well, I'll put it in the notes, theholdback.com.
Well, that's an amazing free offer.
Yes.
It really is, you know, for somebody who wants to just, you know, kind of dig a little deeper and then, you know, and especially even the free 30 minutes, that's amazing on its own to just get to be able to talk with you one-on-one.
Yes.
About your program and
Right.
stuff.
But you know,
Sure.
if it makes
You need the-
sense, then the
You need the
system.
capitals, right?
Pardon?
You need the capitals. The capital hold and back.
Uppercase.
No, you don't. It's
Okay.
just that I think it's easier for people to see the words instead
Okay,
of
I
it
just
all
wanted-
being
I wanted to double
lowercase.
check, so, all right.
Yeah, no, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, any other questions? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
here
we're
for-
actually out of time, you know, if you have a
Yeah,
quick
right on
question and we will definitely, I will put the connection to Carrie Farmer Connections and, you know, it's fascinating. I'm glad you two, I will send you each other's information so that you can, you know, but you know, I was fortunate in another group to have Carrie's board. So it's a very it really is very helpful having something sometimes to go, you know, I just don't know, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
I love it. Yeah.
And if you did use the board, say, okay, we've got Lionsgate coming up. What
Mhm.
would be some good?
How about you do
intentions?
that? Let's throw something for Lionsgate for
Let's
this
do
whole
something for the
that's
group.
watching. For the
All
group,
right.
All right, before we leave,
to take
All
this baby
right.
out. So,
to take us
So-
out, yes, Lionsgate.
and while she's doing this, I want to say thank you all for
Three.
coming to Intuition of the Soul. You know, we do have a Lionsgate at 8 p.m. on Sunday, live here on Facebook, live on our YouTube, and live on Get Spooky's YouTube. So we're very grateful.
It's gonna be fun.
This is going in my book. I tell you guys all week, write down things. So it's all right in my book, whatever she gets, you
And
know.
if you forget Sue, just borrow Kitty's book because I had forgotten.
Where is it? Is it 3?
Oh, it's recorded for Sue. So
Okay, we're going to go to our relationship realm, and teamwork is our
it's up. Yes.
teamwork. I'm going to go light and easy. So we're going to go back to my I don't know, what are these? What is this deck? The universe has your back, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I
Let's
think
just
that's what
play.
it said earlier.
All right. Hubba hubba. Seriously. You know that dreamy look of deep soulful love you've
Mhm.
sometimes seen in the eyes of another as they gaze into your own? Expect a lot more of it. The universe. Woohoo. Hubba
All
hubba.
right.
So
Hubba,
Hubba,
hubba.
hubba.
hubba hubba, your relationship and teamwork.
And
So
teamwork. Hubba hubba, guys. Hey, that
All
can be
right,
our
man.
mantra until we go right into the 8-8 portal. Hubba hubba.
hubba hubba hubba. Woo-woo.
Hubba hubba, everybody. Serendipity. Hubba hubba. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I like
name,
serendipity better than hubba.
when I upload this, Carrie, I'm gonna call it Hubba Hubba with Carrie Farmer. So
hubba.
All right. Thank
So,
you. This has
thank
been
you
a
all.
delight.
it's thank you all from Intuition of the Soul. Again, we have Sunday on the 19th of this month. We have Rashad, who's coming to do work talking about his angel work and his working with that angelic realm. So, 8 o'clock, the 19th.
Yeah, he's amazing as well. You definitely want to come and
Carrie, you've
chat
been
with him.
absolutely amazing. Hopefully we'll see
Yes.
you all at Lions Gate. Again, whatever you
At
do,
8.
8 at 8, and whatever you do, make sure you take some time on Sunday, hubba hubba, to to set some intentions for that time. So
Yes.
um
All right. Thank you, Carrie,
Claire,
so
thank
much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
It's been a blessing. Thank you.